Sorry, gotta make sure the hair is covering my work logo. Hello, welcome to or back to our channel. We read books and we have bishes. This is one bish and one half of the bookish bishes. So, I'm gonna be real honest here. Recently, been a little angry. A little angry at the state of the world, specifically the United States. And in honor of that, I'm gonna make a little vlog, reading some books to pep you up for an anarchy. I am currently reading Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm about halfway through. It's going really well. Haymitch was always one of my favorite characters in the original series, and I was so excited to get started on this. We're meeting some fun characters, although it is heartbreaking to meet these characters when you know that they die horrible deaths. And you know that Haymitch has to watch them die those horrible deaths. Not gonna get too much into spoiler territory right now. Maybe it will a little bit later. Just wanted to kind of intro this. So that is one of the books I'm gonna be reading in this little anarchy vlog. The other one is I recently started I Who Have Never Known Men on audio. I'm about 2 hours in. It's really good so far. It's a little confusing. It's very dystopian. I think I saw someone in a review say it's very Handmaid's Tale. I would agree with that assessment. So those are the two books I'm currently reading. I want to try to sneak in a couple others too, but we'll see how long this takes me. I have not been reading that much during the week. I'm gonna try to start getting up earlier. Since I don't have to be at work until 11:30, I'm gonna try to wake up earlier, maybe take the kids on some walks, listen to some audiobooks that way, and also get some reading done. But sometimes it's just nice to watch TV in the morning, kind of just like chill, eat my breakfast, make some coffee, and then I get home usually around 8:30, and so by that time I also kind of want to just chill. Although I have been reading Sunrise on the Reaping at night. But anyways, we'll see how long this takes me. The other two books I want to get to are the George Takei graphic novels. I picked this one up from the library a little bit ago. They Called Us Enemy, you know, hitting a little close to home these days. And then I recently got approved for his new graphic novel, It Rhymes with Takei, on NetGalley. So I think I'm gonna read those two as well. And now if we're gonna be really ambitious, we would also sneak in Oathbound. But I don't know if that's gonna happen, and it might take me months. We were also gonna try to like buddy read that as a household, so I'm not sure if Katie or Lena will be ready to read that yet. So I think for now, we're gonna keep it to 4 books. Yeah, stay tuned. I will try to update you maybe this evening, but if not, then probably tomorrow morning. Maybe head into some spoiler territory. Anyways, let's get to reading. Hello, and welcome back to the vlog. We did some anarchy today. We went to the protest in DC, the Hands Off protest. So we did that this morning. Katie and I came back, took some nice naps, because you know, anarchy takes a lot of energy out of you. And she is gonna make sourdough, so yeah, that's what the noise is. She's getting the flour ready. We can go take an adventure. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Here's the starter if they wanna
Her name is Demeter.
Her name is Demeter.
Yeah. I will leave you all here for a minute. I am going to clean off the table. That is my weekly chore. And then I did finish I Who Have Never Known Men yesterday. I will give you an update on that in a little bit. And then this evening, I think I'm gonna read They Called Us Enemy by George Takei and continue on with Sunrise on the Reaping. Okay, bye.
Yummy. This will go back in with my other starter to keep her going.
I got a sticker today. I'm gonna put it on my car.
What's the sticker say?
It says, refusefascism.org. The fascist Trump regime must go.
Very nice.
Go on my car.
Is it? I would put it on like a water bottle, but then I feel like it's not big enough for a car, I guess. Maybe it is. I don't know. Bumper sticker stuff.
Yeah, bumper sticker size.
We're not taking your car to Tennessee. Oh no. Okay, but I also recently learned that Scotties, like Scottish Terriers, are technically like endangered.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like their birth rate is really down. And I'm like, damn, maybe we should get yeah, instead of a Westie. Gotta keep the population alive. Although that means they're probably like very expensive. And also we probably wouldn't like get them neutered. Penny would be such a menace if he still had his balls. Like, think about how much of a menace he is now. Yeah. Think about that with his balls. That's crazy.
Okay, table has been cleared off. Got the sourdough starting. And so I'm going to give you a little rundown on I Who Have Never Known Men. So I finished it yesterday on my way to work on the metro. I gave it 4 stars. It's definitely a masterpiece, but I just felt like I wanted more. I wanted to know that why. And I know that's not the point of the book, but that's just how I felt. I just wanted more because these 40 women are locked in a bunker. You don't know why. There's like 6 guards that are watching over them. They can't really talk to each other. They can't do anything. And the main character, she doesn't even have a name. She is the youngest girl because they're all women, no children. And then something happens. These 40 women are able to escape their bunker. And they basically just like walk around. And they're trying to regain their humanity in a world of nothing, basically. And they're walking and trying to find purpose and like a reason that this had happened to them, because all of the other women who are older remember what their lives were like in the real world. And they also are kind of like thinking that they're not on Earth anymore, but that's never really explained. And eventually the 39 other women die, and so the youngest one, the main character, is the only one left alive. And at this point, they've been out for, I think, like 20 some years. And they've found other bunkers spaced out. She finds out that they're grouped in like 5, like in a rectangle, and 1 in the middle. And they've found bunkers of 40 men, 40 women. So they realize that it's not just the women who have been imprisoned, but men too. And then our main character, she ends up finding a bus of the guards because they realized early on that the guards didn't live in the compound. But yeah, she just like wanders for the rest of her life. And then she finds a house because these compounds were like cabins, basement bunker type things. And then she finally finds like a home, an underground home, and she lives out the rest of her life there. The tone of this book is very sad, kind of hopeless, honestly, but what makes it beautiful is that there are small victories, like the women coming together to create a community and work together to regain their humanity, like anything they can grasp onto. There's a lot of discourse on what makes us human. One of the things is the bathroom, because they, in the bunker, have to go to the bathroom in front of everyone. There's no privacy. And then one of the first things they do when they get out is create a shelter where they can use the toilet in peace, in quiet. in privacy. And then another interesting concept is that the main character becomes kind of the executioner of the women who become old and sick and are dying and are in horrible pain and they don't have any medicine, they can't help them. And her kind of mentor, mother figure, was training to be a nurse before everything happened. And she teaches her where the heart is and how you can kill immediately. She tells the group, I know how to do this, but I don't think that I could, because of her past living in society. But because our main character doesn't have that, she's never lived in a society like that, she doesn't have any qualms about this, because she knows this is what these women would rather die while they have their dignity than suffer. So that was a really interesting concept. But even so, I wanted to know the why. We were just left wondering, and that's why I didn't give it a 5-star. I gave it 4. But it's definitely a must read. Very much questioning what makes us human. How can we find our humanity, basically? And it was really interesting to see this one character start from nothing and how she progresses, how her life unfolds. I am tonight going to read They Called Us Enemy and continue reading Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm about 200 pages into Sunrise on the Reaping, like halfway through. The games haven't started yet, but they've just done their interviews and they're about to go into the arena. So, no spoilers yet on it, but probably my next update will have, spoilers for this one. It's a graphic novel, and then some spoilery chat about Sunrise on the Reaping. Okay, till next time. So, George was named after George VI of England, and then when his brother was born, it said, my brother was as large as great big fat Henry VIII, which is who he was named for. Good morning and happy Monday. Just wanted to pop in before work with a quick update. Saturday, we went to the protest, the Hands Off protest in DC. It was really great. There was a huge turnout, which we love to see. It was also really great to see all the posters and just to kind of see that there's a lot of people who are like-minded against the current administration. And we got home, I read They Called Us Enemy by George Takei. This is his first graphic memoir, and it's about the time he and his family spent in 2 of the internment camps in the US during World War II, and just kind of how that shaped his life. And then yesterday, big sporting events. Manchester Derby was a draw. It was honestly very lackluster. And then Capitals game, Ovechkin broke the record for NHL goals. That was very exciting. And then I ran some errands, and then I got home and I read George Takei's soon to be published graphic novel, It Arrives with Takei, which is about how he came out very late in life as a gay man. And it was just a really beautiful memoir, love letter to his husband Brad, call to action to not stay silent, to fight for what you believe in. And it was very informative. I learned a lot, definitely about the legislation and the history surrounding LGBTQ plus rights. I learned a lot about George Takei's life, other than like what happens in this book. I feel like they mesh really well together to give you a full picture of his life and his activism. There was also a lot of hope in this book, which I thought was really beautiful, that this man who was imprisoned by the US government wrongfully and has seen all of the back and forth with many legislations surrounding LGBTQ plus rights, civil rights, a lot of just social justice issues that have come up over the years in recent history, how he can still have so much hope in what America is supposed to be and what democracy is supposed to be. That was just really beautiful and impactful, I think, especially in this time period that we're living in. And it ends like on a very hopeful note that things will be okay because there are good people in the world who will stand and fight for what's right. And I think that's a message that's really, really powerful right now. Yeah, so both of them 5 stars. Oh, and if I hadn't mentioned, It Rhymes with Takei was an ARC from NetGalley, so thank you to NetGalley and the publisher for that. They were both beautiful. I think everybody should read them. They should be taught in schools. So my last book for this vlog is gonna be, I'm gonna finish Sunrise on the Reaping. I have like exactly 100 pages left, so we'll see. I don't always read a lot in the evenings since I get home so late, but once I finish Sunrise on the Reaping, I will give you my spoilery thoughts and wrap this up. But until then, Benny, do you have anything to say? Do you have anything to say? Nothing to say? Baguette, do you have anything to say? No? Okay. Okay. Have a good day. Bye. Real quick, I did forget, last night was also the season finale of season 3 of White Lotus. All I will say is, Chelsea, you deserved better. Okay, that's it. Bye. Hello, and welcome to my final update of this Anarchy vlog. It has been a little while. It is April 12th, but I have finally finished Sunrise on the Reaping, like maybe 10 minutes ago. And I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. We're gonna get into a little bit of spoiler territory. So if you haven't read it yet, click away now and come back once you've finished it. I enjoyed this one a lot. Hamish was always one of my favorite characters in the original trilogy, and so I was really excited to read his story. I really liked the little nods to the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and also the original trilogy that Sunrise has. I felt like it tied everything up very nicely. Tied the 10th Hunger Games and then what we eventually see in the trilogy with Katniss. It tied that together very nicely, I thought. This is probably an unpopular opinion, but for me, there's just something about Suzanne Collins' writing that kind of keeps me at a distance almost, and I'm not sure what that is. I could not put a finger on it, but I felt like that with Sunrise too, which is why it's not a full 5 star. Obviously lots of people die. It's a Hunger Games, but I didn't really feel that emotionally invested in a lot of the like character deaths. And that's not to say that they're not well developed. I couldn't tell you what it is, but even in the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and the original trilogy, something is always keeps me at arm's length about her writing, and I don't know what it is. I really liked about this one that we got to see kind of where Haymitch starts at the beginning of the book and then how he gets to where we see him in the original trilogy. Because at the beginning of this, he's 16, he's poor, but he has a mother, his little brother, he has a job, he has a girlfriend, and life's pretty good for him. And then throughout the course of his games and the trauma, and then after him becoming the victor, when Snow kills his entire family and his girlfriend, just the way he then becomes an alcoholic and is determined to push away anybody who could be close to him is really, really tragic. I really liked the epilogue. I thought it was nice, a nice way to tie it back to the original trilogy and the memorial book that Katniss and Peeta write after the war, and that Haymitch finally found family again. His girlfriend makes him promise as she's dying that he won't let another sunrise on the Reaping happen. And he was able to do that eventually, although he had to wait 25 years. Yeah, what else? Oh, I thought that Plutarch Heavensbee was a very interesting character that we see in the original trilogy as kind of the mastermind behind the rebellion. And he's here, and Haymitch is not quite sure whether or not he can trust him. He's not quite sure if he's on his side. And we see at the end, when Haymitch has kind of given up on everything, that Plutarch is like, well, you gotta stay in the game. It's a long game. And that he certainly did play the long game. I did find that some of the things in this book were a bit fan servicey, kind of like the fact that Haymitch's best friend is Katniss's dad, and just the fact that everything seemed so intertwined. I enjoyed it, but it did seem a little fan servicey. But again, that wasn't an issue for me. I found it fun. I liked to see all the characters that we know, specifically from Catching Fire. Like BT is one of the mentors because his son is in the games. Wyrus and Mags are Haymitch's mentors. And then to see them and then know that Haymitch then watches them die horrible deaths is yet like another gut punch for him. But it really shows you how much work he put in Catching Fire to build the alliances that Katniss and Peeta had with BT, Wyrus, Mags, and Finnick. And I thought that was really fun to see a little backstory on them. I think that is it for my thoughts on Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm really excited for the movie. I am excited to see who they cast. I saw on TikTok somebody said Tom Glencarney, and that is kind of what I pictured. I do think he's a little bit too old, but movie magic, we'll see. I also do want to rewatch Songbirds and Snakes. Maybe do that tonight, we'll see. But yeah, I think that's it for this update. Quick little life update, what we did today. Me, Katie, and Lena went to Ambar and ate all-you-can-eat brunch. And then after Ambar, we went to East City Books and picked up A Prayer for the Crown Shy, which is the second one in the Monk and Robot series by Becky Chambers. I have not read this series yet, but Katie's read the first one and enjoyed it, so I'll get to it soon, hopefully, she says. And then the book I picked was Don't Sleep with the Dead by Nevo. This one is a companion to The Chosen and the Beautiful, which was a Gatsby retelling, which I really enjoyed. So I am really excited for this one. And then I think my last bookish update is that I am this far into The Final Empire, or Mistborn 1 by Brandon Sanderson. This one definitely also could have fit into this Anarchy vlog, but I am gonna end it here. and maybe give you my thoughts on Brandon Sanderson at a later date. But anyways, yeah, let me know what you thought about Sunrise and the Reaping, and catch you in the next one. Bye.